Hey guys, last week I came. Last week was San Diego Comic-Con. I've been back home recovering really for a week, but I did promise I would show you guys a little more in depth about the things that I did buy. I'm about to show you, but right now, all the cool stuff. I call it loot that I came back with. We'll start off with this. This here is a Kid Robot exclusive item specifically for the con. This is a Powdered Toast Man vinyl figure. I'm pretty big on exclusive items for specific cons, just because I'm obsessed with the idea that this stuff is limited for that specific show I'm at, and this is one of them. Kid Robot usually puts out some great stuff. Really cool vinyls that have to do with pop culture, Simpsons, Nickelodeon, that kind of stuff. So this Powdered Toast Man, it's something from my childhood I really wanted. So this was a really good first day preview night buy for me. Okay, the next item, I really wanted this. This is a Diamond Select Comic-Con exclusive Dark Phoenix PVC vinyl statue. Just like the Powdered Toast Man, these are vinyl statues, figurines. Again, exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to open it up here. As you can see, this is the statue taken directly from the pages of the Dark Phoenix saga, from Chris Claremont and John Byrne's X-Men. This is something I saw advertised before I even got to the con, and I told myself I really wanted one. Last year I bought a Captain Marvel PVC vinyl statue from Diamond Select. Diamond Select usually comes out with some great vinyls, and so this PVC diorama is again the same kind of I think value. There's only 6,000 of these made. It's a bit much for a limited item, but I just loved it because it's a great Dark Phoenix piece, and very excited for the movie coming out in a couple of years. All right, and this next item I am very excited about because I was excited before the show. This is a NECA exclusive for the show. This is an exclusive figure of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator, his character Dutch. This is a specific scene which is a personal favorite of mine. The jungle briefing scene with his partner Carl Weathers. This is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, when they slap hands and they're testing their manhood with each other, and as a macho way of saying what's up. I could go over the line with you, but I'm not going to do so right now. Maybe when we see each other in person. This is just a figure. It's exclusive to the show, but it wasn't hard to get at all. But I personally just really wanted one myself, just because this is a figure you never really get to see. I'm a big fan of of collectibles that you don't get to see very much anywhere, and this is definitely one. And why anyone would think a figure from a very obscure scene in a movie would be valuable. Well, it is for me. I'm very much a collector of those kinds of memorabilia. The next item, very excited about here. Now Hasbro is one of the biggest vendors in the entire con. One of the hardest booths to get into to buy anything that they sell there. Very, very difficult to get in. I was lucky. I was able to get into the Hasbro booth the moment preview night started. Never happens. I was able to kind of, by luck, beat the mob. We can go over that story if I ever see you, and you can ask me personally. But out of everything that I bought, I did pre-sell most of the items I bought. It usually pays for half of my trip at least, to go to San Diego. But this piece I wanted for myself. I've been a big Daredevil fan my whole life, and this is a Marvel Legends line Daredevil. The art on the cover is Joe Quesada, comic book artist Joe Quesada, and so the figure is based off of Quesada's art. We'll open it up here for you guys, and as you can see, it's pretty It's pretty big. I don't really buy Marvel Legends, but this piece, I fell in love with it the moment I saw it advertised online before the show. Again, I'll open it up. As you can see, it has different pieces, different head, um, hands, different mask to put on. I'm not opening it. It's going to stay in its package for as long as I have it, so that stuff will stay inside. But me being a huge Daredevil fan for as long as I have my whole life, I saw this piece and I had to buy it. So the next piece, and this is something that I think is very special to many of you. I was lucky enough to get to meet Jason David Frank, who plays the Green Ranger, or also the White Ranger later on in the Power Ranger series. But I had this Legacy Power Rangers White Ranger figure, which, as you can see, I was able to get him to autograph. I've been holding on to this. I sold a lot of the Power Ranger Legacy figures that I bought. I held on to this one with the anticipation that one of these cons I'd be able to get to meet him and he'd autograph it for me, and that's exactly what happened. On the very last day, on Sunday, I was able to run into him almost by chance, and pretty much by chance, and was able to get him to autograph this figure for me. It says Jason David Frank, in quotes, Tommy, the White Ranger. So there's no confusion as to who this is, and many of you guys I know liked that picture that I took with him on my Instagram. So this is the piece that I actually got out of that whole meeting with. It was the autograph of this piece. And let's see, the next one. Cryptozoic makes vinyl figures. Again, I'm a big fan of the vinyl figures. Cryptozoic makes this line of vinyl figures called the DC Bombshells. This is a Supergirl DC Bombshells vinyl. Being a big fan of Supergirl, I was already interested in this, but I'm a big fan of the DC Bombshells line that Cryptozoic puts out. And this is a piece as part of their Series 2 set that doesn't even come out until next month. They released it early for the con, and so I could have waited, but I figured why the hell not? Might as well go get this because I love Supergirl so much. And it's definitely a good buy for the Bombshell collection that I have. And this is really the only one I'm probably going to buy out of the Series 2 set. The Series 2 has Poison Ivy and Batwoman. I'm not big fans of either character, but I do like this piece a whole lot, so I was happy to get this early. Again, now, when it comes to the Cryptozoic figure line, their Series 1 line had a Harley Quinn, a Catwoman, and Wonder Woman as part of their Series 2 vinyl set. Now, I was able to buy a few last year, and they came out with their very last version, I should say, variant of that line, called the Golden Goddesses. Now, these are the Golden Goddess line of the Cryptozoic DC Bombshells Series 1. I'll try to hold it up for you as best I can, but I'm trying to be very careful with these because these are limited to 250 of each. So only 250 of these have been made specifically for San Diego Comic-Con. I knew it would be very difficult getting these. I got really lucky. I was one of the first people on the floor on Friday, and Friday morning I booked it all the way across the convention hall to get to the Cryptozoic booth because they allotted 50 a day. They only sold 50 of these per day as part of the con to get up to 250. 50 were sold online before the show, and then 50 a day for the rest of Comic-Con. So I had to be within the first 50 to get to the booth first, and I made it within the first 30. I made it through 2 different line cutters. That's a story I can tell you guys in person. You can ask me about that. Interesting story, but I was able to get my hands on these. These go for $100 for the entire set. The resale value on eBay is $300 to $350 for the entire set. I don't plan on selling these, really, because I'm a big fan of the DC Bombshells line, and this is very limited, 250 pieces each put out there in the world. So really lucky and really happy that I was able to get my hands on these. This was a target item for myself going into the con, so really happy and that I was able to get my hands on these. Okay, be very careful with those. The next item, and there's not much left, so don't worry if you're getting impatient. This I got from the Boom Studios booth. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, Big Trouble in Little China. This is a set of 2 books, the making of and the art, the official art of Big Trouble in Little China. So 2 books set here, and this comes with a certificate that is signed personally by John Carpenter. Now, only 200 of these sets were signed by John Carpenter. So for $100, I was able to get one of these exclusive 200 sets that were signed and autographed. They were selling a few of these at WonderCon. I passed on it then and was very surprised when they still hadn't sold out by San Diego. It's not something that I'm planning on reselling. It's just I'm a fan of John Carpenter as well as Big Trouble in Little China being one of my favorite movies. I had to get my hands on one of these, especially when you say exclusive and limited. That's my deal. I have to at least consider it, and this one was a definite must for me. So one of 200 only signed, and I was able to buy one. Okay, all right, we're getting down to the last few. The first thing here I know it's called Comic Con, but I didn't buy as much comic books as I planned to this trip, but this is one of the ones I did buy. This is a Spectacular Spider-Man #1 variant cover, exclusive for the con by J. Scott Campbell. J. Scott Campbell, one of the premier artists of the comic book world, and he put out this variant cover along with others, but this is the one I bought, that he autographed himself, and this is exclusive to 1,000 of these were put out there, and so they allotted a certain amount per day. They sold out within the first hour of each day of the con, and so on Saturday I went straight to his booth and made sure I was able to get one of these. Because again, they allot a certain amount per day to sell in order to keep enough for the entire show. I was really lucky to get my hands on this. This is a great cover, as you can see. Spectacular Spider-Man #1, signed by J. Scott Campbell, his variant cover, and this is, again, limited to 1,000. So when you say limited, I got to jump on it, and this was it. All right, the last few items here. This was a print. I bought a T-shirt on TeeFury as part of this artist's line. She submits pieces to be made into T-shirts on TeeFury, and her line is All of Time and Space, and it is a Doctor Who Disney Princess mashup art line, and she submits these images to get made into T-shirts. But she happened to be there at Artist Alley at Comic Con, and I met her and spoke to her about the T-shirts that I have and how much that I love her designs. And I bought this print that she autographed down here. This is Karen Hallion. She does so many of these Doctor Who Disney Princess mashups, and this is the one that I love the most. That she made as a print. It is the 11th Doctor and Aurora from Sleeping Beauty confronting Maleficent and her dragon form. This I plan on framing soon because I just think that this print it's one of my favorite prints that I've ever bought. It's not really of much value. It's just something for me. I love looking at it. It's a great piece. Big fan of the Doctor and the Disney line of princesses that she mashes up with. So this is a print that I really love. And let's see, we have another print. I met Todd Knock, the artist, who is most famous for doing the Amazing Spider-Man. He did the Obama cover, if any of you know which issue that is. I got to meet him. I talked to him a lot about Doctor Who, Monster Squad. We had a great conversation towards the end of Friday night on the Artist Alley floor. He autographed this. He only made 300 of these prints, of these Spider-Man prints. Only 300 of these prints exist, and he autographed one for me. Really love this. right, and the last item was the big one for me. Every year I wait in the WB autograph line to meet various casts of CW shows or anything based off of the WB production studios, and this happened to be this year. I was able to get the Gotham cast. I met with the Gotham cast, and they signed this poster, which everyone got. Everyone got a free mini poster, which the whole cast signs, but the signing session only lasts for about half an hour to 40 minutes, so very limited, one of a kind. And this was the cast I wanted to meet from the get-go, so I was really lucky. They still had wristbands left by the time I got to the top of the line. I have a video out there on my Instagram that illustrates what that line looked like when I was waiting in it. I had to wait overnight, but last year I met Supergirl, the Supergirl cast, and this year was the Gotham cast. So this is a piece that I'm very proud of being able to acquire. The whole Gotham cast, they're great people, great cast to meet, very friendly, very funny. All right, and so that is it. That was I bought a few t-shirts, but I don't have to highlight them here. I'll wear them for those of you that know me or want to or will run into me sometime in the future. You'll see which t-shirts I buy, I promise. But that is it for all of my loot that I grabbed from Comic-Con. And so I will be going to the next show that I'm planning on going to is YesterCon, which is a toy convention in Pasadena in the next couple weeks, and the Comic-Con Palm Springs next month. I will have posted videos during those conventions and make another one of these videos highlighting what I bought. And then in September is Long Beach Comic Con, and October is the big one, New York Comic Con. I will also post videos for those conventions. So for Rogues Only, thanks for joining me. I'll catch you guys later.